The term legend gets thrown out way too often in life and in sports. We will use the term legend today in honoring Bobby Bowden in a very appropriate way, and he more than deserves at least that distinction as a true legend of college football. Arguably the greatest coach of all time. Now is not the time to make that argument. Now is not the time to make those comparisons. Now is the time to honor the coach and the man Bobby Bowden was, and eternally speaking, the man that he is, as his spirit lives on. So let me speak to the football side of things. I don't want to get too technical with records and achievements. I became aware of Florida State football when I was about 10 or 11 years old, as Florida State was making a name for itself due to Bobby Bowden's arrival in the late 70s. And what he did there was truly remarkable. It really can't be described, underlined, can't be exaggerated in any way. Florida State was a mess. FSU was 4-29. 4-29 prior to Bobby Bowden's arrival. He had one losing season, and immediately in that 1976 losing season, they were competitive against top-notch competition. Immediately. That's how good Bobby Bowden was as a strategist, as a developer of talent, as a person who could evaluate the talent and place it in the right positions, and as a motivator and an inspirational leader. Remarkable. So the college football world started to take notice of Florida State when they reached the Orange Bowl in 2 consecutive seasons. Florida State had no business being in Orange Bowls that quickly, playing top 5 opponents, playing an Oklahoma team in back-to-back seasons and playing them to a 1-point game in one of those 2 games, in which it was much like the Miami ascension between 80 and then culminating in 83, where most college football observers near the end of the season were like, who are these guys? Where did they come from? They don't belong here. Florida State should not be playing in the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma. But Bobby Bowden just quickly took the talent he had, developed it, put it in schemes, put together an offense, in particular an offense that was rare in college football at that time. We saw it at BYU. We saw it in spots elsewhere, very limited, but he combined the talent with his innovative style of offense, throwing the ball downfield, taking chances, running very innovative plays, not just gadget plays, but gadget plays that made sense, that were part of the offense. And we also saw Bobby Bowden take on the world. We saw Bobby Bowden go to Notre Dame, Nebraska, Ohio State, LSU, Auburn, when those schools were too big, too proud to go to Tallahassee. So Bobby Bowden said, fine, you won't come here? We will play you and we will beat you in your home stadium. We will embarrass you in front of your home fans. Since you won't play a home and home, we will go to your place back-to-back seasons and beat you twice. He won at Nebraska when they were a top-ranked team. I know firsthand, Bobby Bowden's Seminoles teams came to Columbus and whipped Ohio State 2 consecutive years and displayed an offense that the Big Ten had not seen. Bobby Bowden's teams dominated college football. I understand that there were other teams at that summit. What I mean is consistently, they were dominant. We have not seen the likes of Florida State consistency in excellence. We've not seen that. In the last 40 plus years, we have not seen it. We saw it with Notre Dame previously. We saw it with Oklahoma. We saw it with Alabama in shorter spurts. Maybe more dominance in regards to national championships, but in much shorter spurts of time. For 14 consecutive seasons, Florida State finished in the top 5 in the nation. And you know my assessment of national championships. They are overrated. Again, a topic for another time. But Bobby Bowden's Florida State Seminoles finished in the top 5 of the nation 14 consecutive years. Oh, yeah, it could be debated that once or twice they should have been number 6 or number 7. That's not the point. The specifics are not the point. The details, not the point. To finish at or near the top of college football for 14 consecutive seasons, unmatched in the history of college football. During that time, when bowl games really meant something, Bobby Bowden was taking Florida State to major bowl games every year, so the very best bowl games, and winning those bowl games. 13-0-1 in a 14-year stretch in bowl games. Let that sink in. 13-0 with one tie in 14 consecutive years in bowl games. And those were bowl games against top 5, top 10 opponents. Astounding. He won national championships in 1993 and 1999. Based on the current college football playoff system, had that been the format of the day, who knows how many national championships Bobby Bowden would have won. With a capable kicker, who knows how many national championships Bobby Bowden would have won. But it's safe to say that he would have made the college football playoff almost all of those 14 seasons, and under a different system, most likely, it's reasonable to say, would have won more national championships. He coached his last game January 1st, fittingly, against his former team, West Virginia. Fittingly, Florida State won. And Bobby Bowden had another New Year's Day victory, 21-9 in bowl games. He won, I'm going to do the math, past the NCAA adjustment of records that is ludicrous and ridiculous. So I'm at 316-97-4, 115-27 in the ACC. They won 9 consecutive ACC championships. They dominated the ACC, 12 conference championships. Bobby Bowden could have coached at Alabama, Auburn, LSU. The Atlanta Falcons all offered him the head coaching position. He stayed at Florida State. All right, let's speak to the man. We could go on and on for hours about his coaching achievements. I scratched the surface. I gave you some context from my place in college football and how I see it in regards to how he changed the game and how he made his mark. He took over a program that was abysmal and lifted them to the heights and became the consistent standard. Other teams popped up and joined them, Miami, Notre Dame, Nebraska, during that time in the 80s and 90s. But consistently, Florida State was there. He helped, with others, usher in the passing offense in college football. He made college football fun to watch from an offensive standpoint. The man, Bobby Bowden, seems to even surpass the legendary coach. He was generous. He was kind. He was giving to his players. Probably the best way to gauge the effectiveness of a coach, the impact of a coach is to talk to his players and see what they have to say. And to a man, he changed their lives. And from afar, from watching him, I never covered a Florida State game while Bobby Bowden was there. I was never on the sideline. I was never in the press box covering a Florida State game during his tenure, unfortunately. But in covering college football, just a great man of faith, a man that lived out his faith practically. So some people talk their faith, others talk it, and then they go out and they live it. And they give, and they love, and that was Bobby Bowden. And just a huge personality. I could have led with Bobby Bowden's personality, and maybe I should have. Bobby Bowden's personality was just enormous. He just seemed like one of those guys that everybody gravitated to. So fun-loving, so kind-hearted, so giving, so warm, so generous, so just much wanting to laugh, embrace life, and wanted the other people around him, family, friends, players, to embrace life as well and encourage them to love life and embrace it. Bobby Bowden, 91 years old. We could use many more like him. I hope to be joined by our Florida State contingent here at the Voice of College Football to further honor the man and the coach, Bobby Bowden. Please leave your comments below.